Hey everyone, I'm CJ, and quite a few days there without a new video because my microphone broke. Those are the breaks. I've been spending some time trying to replace it, and almost did. I bought a new microphone off Amazon, and finally it arrived, and wouldn't you know, it's just not working. So I figured I can either just not record anything until I get a new microphone, or I can try using the the memo app on my phone and hope that covers it. And so that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm hoping this works, but I guess we'll find out. But anyway, the main thing that I want to talk about right now is uh, basically Alfred Molina coming back to the role of Doc Ock in MCU's Spider-Man 3. But that sort of as a springboard into kind of a larger discussion. But long and the short of it is, obviously, Alfred Molina played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 from 2004. And most people consider that to be the best movie in the Sam Raimi trilogy. And obviously, he's got quite a lot of fans. There are a lot of people that are kind of excited about this. And honestly, I mean, why not? You know, this movie, Spider-Man 3, it looks like it's going to be exploring the multiverse, just the concept of the multiverse. And I guess if you're into this sort of thing, there's a lot to be excited about. But there are some other wrinkles and developments going on with all this that honestly just kind of give me, at least, reason for pause. Specifically, the rumor or rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are both going to return in some way or another as their respective forms of Spider-Man. And what's not mentioned in this CBR article is rumors making the rounds that Emma Stone may come back as Gwen Stacy in some form or another. There's also a rumor making the rounds about Kirsten Dunst, maybe her return as Sam Raimi's version of Mary Jane. Maybe that's going to be happening as well. And I realize this may be an unpopular opinion, but there were a lot of rumors, and honestly, at this point, we have to call them rumors because I'm not aware of very much official confirmation, but basically, it's generally known at this point that somebody involved with Warner Brothers, or DC Entertainment anyways, most likely Jeff Johns, leaked a bunch of story details about Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice to, among others, Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers over at Marvel. And those story details pretty much determined the direction that Captain America Civil War was going to take. A lot of that, believe it or not, really does go back to Jeff Johns. That was how opposed he was to Zack Snyder, that he wanted to basically give away the store to Marvel. And so anyone who's ever watched Civil War and Batman v Superman, they've probably noticed some similarities between those two movies. Well, that's really not an accident. I mean, there are times when Hollywood will make two very similar kinds of films to one another. And believe it or not, it really is a coincidence in the majority of cases. But when it comes to Batman v Superman and the similarities it has with Captain America Civil War, that's not an accident. Basically, Jeff Johns, like I say, he gave away the sort of the spine of what Batman v Superman was going to be all about. and the people who basically a lot of the key creative figures at Marvel, again, specifically Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers, did everything they possibly could to steal Zack Snyder's thunder. That's really what it came down to. And it looks like something similar is going on here. Not so much that anyone's leaking information, but the rumors about, actually, I don't even know if they're rumors anymore. I think that we can pretty well take this as basically confirmed information that Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck will both be coming back to the role of Batman for the Flashpoint movie. And there are rumors that other characters are going to be popping up as well. And so it just doesn't seem like that's a rumor anymore. It just seems like that stuff, we can take it pretty much as verified fact at this point. And it seems like Spider-Man 3 is trying to keep up with Flashpoint. And it's like, I can understand why the creative talent behind Civil War would want to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to goings on with Batman v Superman. But is there anyone out there who's like super duper excited about what's happening with Flashpoint? I mean, I know that Michael Keaton still has a lot of fans, a lot of people who still love him as Batman. And so they're excited about the prospect of him coming back as Batman, but they're not necessarily excited about Flashpoint as a movie itself. They're really mostly into it only for what this portends for Michael Keaton as Batman, and then pretty much that's it. And same thing I would say with Ben Affleck. I mean, I don't think anyone out there is necessarily spraying their shorts over the idea of a Flashpoint movie, but the idea of Ben Affleck coming back as Batman, he still has a lot of fans as well, and it seems that that's where a lot of that excitement is coming from. And it just, when you read stories like this of Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock, or what's his name, Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, or the rumors of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back as their versions of Spider-Man and all this other stuff, it just seems really, really try hard to me. I mean, you know, I can't say I was ever like super duper excited about MCU's Spider-Man 3 anyway, but this just seems like someone is just trying too hard. You know, they're trying to compete with Flashpoint, which, as far as I know, is a movie that, like in the big scheme of things, not all that many people really care about. They're trying to keep up with that, and and the other thing is, like, the whole multiverse concept, I mean, it kind of works for DC and live action because they have so many different prior TV shows and movies and all this stuff that still have fans, that incorporating all that stuff into one big multiverse, assuming that's not a contradiction in terms, one big multiverse, but including all that stuff into their multiverse, you can do that. And you can, like, on a creative level, it can be pretty successful, you know? Marvel doesn't really have that. I mean, prior to the advent of the MCU, there were just not very many Marvel movies or shows or whatever that you can really resurrect and try to incorporate into a multiverse. I mean, the Marvel multiverse is something that, for the most part, they're going to have to build from the ground up. I mean, you've got, before the MCU, you've basically got the Wesley Snipes version of Blade. You've got the 20th Century Fox era version of the X-Men. You've got Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and then you've got Mark Webb's Spider-Man. And basically that's it. There's really not a whole lot to choose from when it comes to pre-MCU acclaimed Marvel movies. And there's just not a whole lot to choose from. What what Warner Brothers is doing with the DC characters on film and basically using that stuff to create their multiverse, it's just not going to work as well with Marvel. It's just not. And it seems like somebody involved in the food chain here just doesn't seem to realize that, or they're not acknowledging it. They're trying way too hard to keep up with a movie that, again, for like the third time here, is Flashpoint. As far as I know, like, nobody really gives a shit about that movie. So, I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of odd and weird and strange, and I don't know. I mean, how anyone can possibly be excited about Spider-Man 3 at this point is kind of beyond me, but anyway. I at least wanted to throw all this out there so that my YouTube channel doesn't wither on the vine too much. So, anyway, whatever. I'm CJ, and that's that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, comment, like, and share this video because it really helps me out. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Loves Comics.